The bounty hunters. She glared at the impertinent Tret, the wretched, stupid, annoying. The room shifted to the simmer of the alcohol in her liver. She'd tried hitting on him normal and it had gone over his head. Now her wing girl had clearly fucked up in slipping the guy some knockout drugs in the middle of their drinking competition. She'd have to throw that fucking idiot clean out the airlock for that. It was so hard to find men on this station, and having one walk in the bar and things start to go wrong was just unfair. The unimaginable fucker then takes his next shot, pulling two ahead of her. She could see the drugs swirling in that one. He doesn't even seem to notice. What the fuck is going on? You girls are getting pretty classy with the sedatives. That one went down smooth. The unimaginable fucker states, and her patience snaps. Her banger is out and pressed against his forehead in seconds as she glares at him. He then kindly adjusts her grip on the weapon so the barrel of the banger is pressed against his forehead and not the handle. She's a little drunk. "You think you're smart?" she demands him, not slurring the words through long practice with alcohol. The bastard takes another shot. She's 3 behind now. "I did get a 97 on my last major exam," he says smugly. Another shot. The man is a goddamn machine. Does he not care that she's got a weapon to his head? What's he made out of? She starts to intimidate him, but the gun slips off his head and she flops forwards onto her boobs. She then takes a moment to reorient herself and put the gun back against his head. He adjusts it somewhat and she presses against him with it. This time it doesn't slide. "I got a banger. To your head. Right now. Don't get smart with me." "Would you rather I be stupid?" he asks. "You think you're funny?" "Yes." "Well, you're not. You're not funny, you stupid bastard. Pull that trigger and you'll be in a whole world of pain." He threatens her and she gives him a baffled look. "What makes you think that? It's pointed the right way. I pull the trigger and you get shot, not me. If there was only one weapon, then you'd be right. But there isn't, so you're not," the man says, and she squints at him funny, her wing finger tapping against the table as she tries to figure things out through the haze of. Something cold and hard presses into the back of her head. "You've got friends?" she asks. "Yes. Bethany Bombs Browndown, I do," he says. "You know my name?" Bombs asks, and the man grins before pulling out a communicator and showing her bounty listing. "Yes, I do miss million credit payday," he remarks, and then something impacts the back of her head and the world goes black. A series of thumps as Bomb's little gang of terrorists is knocked out and are being systematically wrapped up in duct tape for transport. "Well, gents, can I drink? Or can I drink?" "You're German. Half your fluid intake was beer already." J3 notes as he clucks his tongue at the girls as every member of Bomb's gang has a bounty of at least 25,000. "We're raking it in on this one." "So I see," a deep female voice says, and 10 guns point towards the entrance of the bar. In the doorway is a tall woman with bright purple skin and 8 powerful tentacles coming out the back of her head. She wears a skin-tight outfit with lines of light moving through it. Low-grade powered protection that leaves nothing to the imagination while leaving her almost completely safe from live fire and knives. Not so much on her uncovered head and the large inner window of breast on display, but formidable protection beside. There's a pause, and then the guns are stashed away as Pukey stands up from wrapping up bombs and moves to speak with the ruler of Octaron Spin. "Captain Minnesee, a pleasure. How may this humble visitor to your station be of service?" Pukey asks, and she huffs in amusement. "I'm just here to put you silly boys on notice. You're not the first time the law has come here to play fast and loose with all the rules. Granted, you've been playing smarter than most. They generally just try to snatch and grab. You're baiting to snatch and snatch and snatch," Minnesee remarks as she saunters into the room. "I'm glad I caught you mid-snatch. Is there a problem? Self-defense and retaliation are both considered perfectly fine last I checked," Pukey asks, and she snorts in amusement. They are. It's not with me that you're in trouble. Bombs had a banger to your man's head and her gang were fingering their weapons. Self-defense and retaliation, Minasai remarks. But 10 men in great shape and rocking weapons every step of the way grabs attention. Girls have been noticing. Word's already traveling around the station and the easy targets are wising up. They're going to be defensive around random men that smell of sex. So we should shower more. Got it, Pukey remarks as he walks to the rented auto bar. You know, these little meet-up places are amazing. All the drinks, all the privacy, and all sorts of room for fun. Auto bars have always been a solid investment, especially here in Nightside, Minnie C notes as she takes a seat. You got a favorite? Pukey asks, gesturing to the numerous images of drinks floating behind the bar. He slots in a series of credit discs and all of them light up. Without a word, one of Minasai's tentacles reach out and poke a display. It opens up, and a tiny tractor beam lowers a bottle and glass for her use. Expensive taste, Bike notes as he finishes tucking their target in. I'll grab the van. Truck's still halfway through some upgrades, Airfarce says as he walks out. J3, the hat, buddies? All 3 men leave at once and Minasai watches with hungry eyes. You haven't fucked the EFL boys sent over? Pukey asks as he sees her looking. Just because the bioscanners say I've got an heiress in the work doesn't mean I can't appreciate some mighty fine man-ass. I'm married, not dead. So what's the summation of the warning, ma'am? Pukey asks, even as he watches her head tentacles grab both bottle and glass to pour her a generous helping while ordering another glass up. It pops up and a glass is poured for him. While this happens, other tentacles are fetching some things out of her belt pouch. A long pipe with a flattened end and a small cartridge of something that installed on the pipe with a twist. She then tears the top off it and it instantly gives out a slight flare of heat and starts to smoke. She takes a deep drag of her pipe as she swishes around her drink and offering Pukey one of his own. All of it seemed automatic and without focus. Pukey can't help but be impressed, something the captain notices and grins at. There we go. It took me a bit to get a read, you crazy humans, but it was, oh, so worth it. I get enormous amounts of work done from my boys. Morale's through the roof too. They love to party. Am I to assume the goodwill they've built earned us this little warning? That, and no one likes to see a man get hurt. Oh sure, there are some girls with some hardcore fetishes out there. But generally, they're thought of as sweet and cuddly little delicacies that make you feel good when your work's done for the day, and then ride you round the bed until you're proper pregnant. Wow, Tang remarks around his bright orange glass of a drink. A bet lost was a bet lost, so he had to drink the closest he had to his name. This stuff is awful. Nice save, Tang. Anyways, ma'am, I'd like to ask how close we've gotten to breaking the rules. You've taken a risk joining the EFL, and there's another one with us goofing around in your station. If we start crossing lines, tell us, and you won't have to throw us out of airlocks. We'll march out first. Pukey remarks, and there's nodding all around as Minasai smiles. This is why I like you humans. You all act like just being here is a privilege. You're gracious little buggers, she notes before Airfarce, J3, and the hat return. We'll carry these girls out to the chainbreaker, unless you need more time, boss, Airfarce offers, and Pukey shakes his head. I don't need a babysitter. Get him in stasis ASAP. There's a quick flurry of activity as Pukey and Minasai sip their drinks, and the auto bar is emptied of all the unconscious and wrapped up blood sonar, leaving only Captain Minasai and Captain Gregory Pukey Schmidt. The door closes, and the unmistakable hum of a privacy field buzzing begins. Pukey puts down his drink and sighs. How bad is it? You do realize that this place is a pirate station, right? I keep control of this place by straight up executing the troublemakers and holding all the keys to the castle. There is no place I can't go, nothing I can't do, but there are those that can slow even me down. I have the power to open up all the hidden vents on each part of the station and strategically open it to the void. At any moment, I could end millions of lives. Except Pukey prompts knowing what's coming next. Except for 8 powerful organizations. Gangs. Think bigger. Criminal governments. More shadow, but yes, I have an agreement with each of the 8. I'm neutral, and they only focus on each other. Long story short, if I break this, they might be able to overthrow me if they work together. If I don't, then I don't have to worry. They won't be working together, but between your man winning that duel and you little bastards making spectacles of yourself wherever you go, you have their attention. Mine too, but I'm neutral. Anything you can tell me, or do we get the entertainment of figuring things out for ourselves? Yes. Pukey considers as he picks up the drink again and gives it a sip. It's a grainy bit of work with a barely noticeable bite. They don't get along at all, do they? There are times I have to intervene hourly to stop war from breaking out. They will all want different things, won't they? Maybe. Some will just pay attention to you, others will dismiss. Some will be outright hostile. Some will try to recruit, and others will take offense to what you've been up to. Minisai notes as she takes a pull on her pipe. With overlap, I imagine, Pukey considers. He then throws back the drink in a single gulp. I've got some digging to do then. Is there a reason that JK or Hoagie didn't mention this to us? Until you had their attention, it wasn't a concern. Now you have it. Now they'll be watching, if not interfering. Each one of them has their own interests and goals, so the attention might not even be a bad thing for some of them. Hell, a few might help you by throwing troublemakers into your path, as you seem to be dedicated to finding those that can't control their worst impulses and wrapping them in duct tape before walking off with them. I can easily imagine the Colosseum wanting us to have more fights like how the Hat gave out. Even with us making out like bandits on the betting, they turned a tidy profit, I'll wager. A fair observation. Minisai doesn't confirm or deny as she takes a sip of the drink. It hits her harder than Pukey. Each major section of the station is different territory. We'll have to figure our way around each. The nightlife might become hostile. Maybe. Just remember there's a fee in switching your docking berth. Making money? Whole point of the station. I just need to let it spin for a few more years and I can legally buy a solar system. Minnie C remarks and Pukey lets out a low whistle. That is a huge amount of money. I know, right? When I'm done making stupid amounts of credits, I'll pass it to my daughter and she can be stinking rich in turn. She pats her still flat stomach as she says this, and Pukey considers. Hey, what's the obsession with children anyways? I get parental instinct and everything, but it comes up a lot around you aliens. It's a status symbol for one. Men are rare, so having a man means you've got something valuable. Having a daughter means you've gotten something out of it. The first and most important figure in any little girl's life is their mother. For those first few years, she's queen and goddess. Slipping the crown on yourself is a sign that you've got it made. And that's aside from the general desire to have children, to have another generation, and to have sex. If we weren't supposed to be fruitful, then the goddess wouldn't have made it feel so good. You're a gravid, aren't you? We're called the soft-hand gravids. Yes, men exist to put babies in bellies, but you can only be so pregnant. So as long as they've done their duty, then there's no reason to stop them from doing whatever they want. That's almost reasonable. Oh yay! What do you follow, you Christian, like my man? What do you know about Christianity? 10 big rules. Be a nice person. Forgiveness is a big thing, and then comes all the legends and stories. Something about a man who took all the sin and crime unto himself and died to purify it. Christ on the cross? You're missing details, but yes, died to cleanse us of original sin. So it's on us to earn our way into paradise, or fall from it, the burden of free will and knowledge. If this devolves into a conversation about semantics and theology, I'm leaving. Minisai huffs and Pukey chuckles. I think that's my cue to leave then. Enjoy the rest of the drink and thanks for the warning. I'll see if we can get talking with the 8 and see if we can reach some kind of agreement. After all, the girls with bounties are the stupid ones that get attention doing stupid things. No doubt they'll have someone that wants them gone even here. Don't bet on it. I've broken up fights over the weirdest things imaginable. Yeesh. Not to mention when Section 8's girls get pissy, they get really. Minasai is cut off by a buzz, and instantly one of her tentacles has a communicator held in front of her face. Captain speaking. Ma'am, we've got the list of imports for you browsing pleasure. Also the final approval for the next asteroid we're going after. On my way, she remarks and Pukey grins. It's been a pleasure, Captain. Thanks for the information. I'll see about making some friends. Pukey remarks as he walks to the exit. Good luck, little man. Try not to end up as some drugged-out boy toy. The big shots have finally figured out you're more like flat women with dicks rather than delicate little boys. Doesn't mean they won't want to make you one, though.